Hey guys, Steve here, Reef Reacher Fishing. Back at the bench. It's been a while. Um, Making some changes. Just to how I do this. Just want to take a second and thank everybody for the support I've been getting. I was really tied up in Facebook, and I've got that account where I want it now. So let's get back to the fishing reels. What we're going to do today is put this 650 SS Reels of Champions. You see it has the black label with the gold. These reels are highly collectible. This one actually, as I took it apart, has a very, I've never seen bearings like this before. See how there's just, there's no numbers, there's no gap, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is what they normally look like. See the difference? See how it doesn't have that outer ring? So as many of these as I've taken apart, it just leads me to believe that this is a really early reel. Now, I showed you the black tags. This is indicative of the Reels of Champions series that was originally released in 1978. They also, oopsie, they also had a chrome handle. And believe it or not, this one is perfect. This freaking handle's $60. You can buy the reel for $60. But one of these handles in good shape, because there's nobody making aftermarket. I was working with 𝙍𝙚𝙨𝙢𝙥𝙞. It's kind of weird, but I was working with 𝙍𝙚𝙨𝙢𝙥𝙞 to develop a handle for this reel. I did a mechanical drawing. I couldn't believe that they couldn't get this information on their own, but they were willing to compensate me for doing it. It's probably trying to get me to divulge secrets. But at any rate, these are one of the most indestructible spinning reels ever made. This is what they looked like in the 80s. Okay, the gold, red, and silver tag. I've caught 100-pound fish on these reels. They don't wear out. They stopped making them that way because planned obsolescence became part of the game. But let's get to putting this thing together. We're going to start by looking at this end. And just for reference, I know everything's backwards, but I look at the reel the way I use it, okay? Left side, right side, handle side, non-handle side, face, foot, stand, okay? Rotor, handle shaft, okay, main gear, pinion. So at any rate, that's just some of the terms. Some of these guys are brand new. They don't know what these terms are, so take it easy in the comment section. I'm going to try to keep this time right. Get the right stuff. I don't care if it says Penn, but it says precision reel grease. So there's grease just isn't grease anymore. Cooking grease, vegetable grease, synthetic, all that stuff. So we're going to get our stuff out, just a little dab. And go around that where that bearing sits, because the first thing we're going to do is take this pinion and also throw some lube around that. Don't go crazy because it'll make your reel stick. Now, I've already treated these with synthetic. I just put it on one side and it soaks through. I put them on a paper towel and I put a bead around them, and eventually it soaks through and gets on the paper towel, letting me know it's penetrated all the way through the bearing. It also flushes out a lot of the crud. But here we go. We're going to insert the bearing and the pinion into here, and these get really picky sometimes. Where are you looking, guys? Look down here. If the bearing doesn't go in perfectly straight, it fights you. There we go. That one's in. Take our bearing retainer it's a plate. I try to cheat and leave these screws in because I stink at getting these screws started. They're all going to fall out because as soon as I turn the camera on, everything goes. Why didn't you move the light over, guys? Man, the staff here at Reef Reacher Fishing, they're lacking. But I want to change the way I'm doing these videos. Originally, I was trying to be someone that, I used to watch, like Bill Dance or, the fishing shows. I'm not going to name them. I'll name Bill Dance because he's my dude. But there's 3 screws on this. Don't tighten any one down until you got all of them started because they're just a pain in the butt. This holds the bearing in place, also holds the pinion in place. But this is the anti-reverse system. And one of the things that makes the anti-reverse different on these reels is that they offer silent anti-reverse. I don't know what the idea was behind the silent anti-reverse. Just make it silent. But anyway, they gave the angler the choice, the individual angler the choice. The first thing we're going to do is grab our little spacer. It's just a little aluminum spacer. It goes over the shaft, and that positions the anti-reverse dog. And see how this is kind of swept? Okay. When I was getting my captain's license, I learned that hurricanes spin counterclockwise and they suck everything in because it's a low pressure. High pressure systems spin counterclockwise or clockwise and spit everything out. Tornadoes. No, tornadoes are low pressure systems. I used to convince people of that. But this is the this is the anti-reverse dog. And the way I remember it is when you look at the reel face, this is a hurricane. It faces counterclockwise. But before we do that, we have to put this guy on there. And this is the only downfall to these reels, is this spring clip. See how that's riveted through? Compare it to this guy. They're the same part. Penn was really thrifty. Penn was really smart about reusing stuff. But let's put this on there. And for me, it's simple. I've done this so many times. But you put it on there so that it's locked in. See that? How that fits? Now watch this. Come on, get. All you got to do is turn the camera on, guys. Everything goes fine. What could go wrong? Direct hit, tail gunner Beavis. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Whatnot. It's goofy at first, but check out Whatnot. It's an app, big yellow W, and you're going to be seeing me selling on Whatnot pretty soon. It's auctions, 15-second, 30-second, 1-minute auctions, whatever I set it up as. But I get to be me, and I sell stuff. I'm going to start with fishing stuff, obviously. I've been buying a bunch of lures, new in the package, old stock lures, stuff like that. So keep your eye out. I'll make an announcement. Oh, and I'm doing this backwards. Why didn't you guys say something? Just, hey, Steve, can't see anything. I also got a new camera mount, but it clips on and it's this really stiff wire and it's going to be doing this for 5 minutes. If just touching the camera to turn it on, it does this. Well, you didn't know I was going 3D, did you? But anyway, that guy's on there. Let's double check. Beep. That's the official Tiny Tim torque wrench. Okay, the next step is the silent anti-reverse. Now, this one has a little spring. Don't be afraid. Don't be intimidated. It's just a spring, guys. But it's got a little kicker that sticks up. and that little kicker hooks onto this in just a certain way, which will be impossible to show on a camera, but you're going to have to trust me, it's real. So what I do is I put the spring on there. It sits on, and the part that sticks up is in front. It's in front of this stop. See that sticking up? Where is it? Right there? See that? Okay. Can't believe that screwdriver is not magnetic. What you do is you have to take your anti-reverse dog and slide it so that it catches that. Hold it just so. Get the screw. Don't let go. Don't let go. Here we go. Can you see it? And it'll take you a try or two, but if you get a wrap on there or a thread, just get it started. It's the first time I've ever done this, folks. Welcome, race fans, hot runners. Then you take that guy. Do that. This is where it gets fancy, and you're just going to have to figure this out because it's impossible to show on camera. But I got to drag that little dog leg that's sticking up. I push down on this end of this silent anti-reverse dog, and I fish it underneath here. Sometimes it works. Not today. Not that you're going to learn today. Back over here. Oh, I'm telling you what, guys. All right. This is going to have to happen off camera. I apologize. This spring, it's not difficult. It's just awkward to do sitting in a wheelchair while on camera. Don't be intimidated to take this stuff apart. Worst case scenario, send it to me. I don't charge. Anybody that wants a reel worked on, I don't charge for the service. I don't charge for my time. I will only charge for parts. I don't know, maybe you can catch some of this. Watch where I keep my fingers because they're there for a reason. It helps me put pressure in the right. Oh, if I could get this screw to start, boys. Hold her. We're headed for the rhubarb. All right. And she's set. Then it's a little tricky getting it to set because the pins are so machined that they pivot on. Okay, see how this is going in? Sometimes the lip catches on that. See how it stops? All right, we're going to put it back. Eventually you win, I promise. And guys, find me on Facebook, Steve Miller Reef Reacher. I'm getting a pretty good following. This was all started. This is really getting on my nerves. I started all this a couple years ago because of my injury, becoming paralyzed, but then finding out that I'm not. I'm learning to walk again by the grace of God. I don't have words. But it hasn't all been good. You would think that would be a good thing to find out. It wasn't. It's a horrible nerve pain, man. Finally, Robaxin, non-narcotic. It's killing all my nerve pain, all my issues. What happens is when I go to move, my legs don't interpret touch correctly, and they go, oh my God, what was that? Oh my God, what was that? And they lock up, which prevents me from having control. I'm literally teaching my brain to use my lower body again. If it wasn't so horribly painful until recently, it was terribly interesting. But anyway, enough about me. I want to do more just general fishing videos, not so much just fishing reel repair, but fishing generals. I'm going to be tying some really fancy leaders. I'm going to be tying deep drop rigs. Going to be doing all kinds of neat stuff. Okay, now we got the silent in there. Now we got to put the trip lever in. And this has that funky little hook. That hook always goes around here. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments. I am going to start posting one video a week on this channel and see if we can't grow this channel. So please hit that like, hit that subscribe. Find me on the face page at Steve Miller Reef Reacher. I also run a reel with a buddy named Joey Grimsley, and it's called Real Penn Reels, R-E-A-L, Penn Reels. I can't believe how much I'm struggling with these screws. Normally takes me 15 minutes to put one of these reels together. So I figured 20 minutes if I'm doing it while talking to you guys, and that's just not holding true. Trying to keep these videos to 15 minutes. I'm already at 16:30. Here we go. Okay, I use Corrosion X. Okay, I put it in these little medicine cups because that's just how I am. This is the real thick stuff. This is like honey. Okay, see how thick it is? It doesn't even come out of the... That's just funny. Oh. Yeah, we'll deal with that later. Anyway, there's some in here. Okay. So I take this and I run this all around where the crosswind gear and the crosswind block ride. Okay, I will mix in just a touch of the Penn Reel Lube for some longevity. But if you put this blue grease or thick grease underneath this crosswind gear, it will stick. It has a little knob on it. Okay, take that and face it all the way to the rear. Like so. Take a little bit of blue, put it right on top of that post. Let's see. These you have to put the shaft in, or the gear in, before the shaft. I want to show you how I prep these gears. Everybody loads these freaking things up, and it just makes it sluggish, and it just spins out of the gear. I do one at 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then just kind of work it around. Okay, also, this is what drives the crosswind gear. I fill that completely because that's an aluminum gear, and this is a really hard brass. Put a little more on there just so that nobody can bitch. Okay, and we're also going to throw some on the pinion, give it a twirl, some on the pinion, give her a twirl, a little bit more on the pinion. That's all you need. I'll argue these points until the day I die. There's a million ways to drive the Tampa. This is mine. We are going to take the bearing and put it in the back side. I think we are. I thought we were. There we go. Those bearings really are weird looking. Makes me not want to sell this reel. There's something different about this reel. It's a very early model. But at any rate, we got there. Pa-pow! Now we got that in. Next thing we're going to do is grab our crosswind block. I always thought this kind of, I don't know, it has a wing over here, this leg. That sticks to your left as you face the reel. But what I do is I throw a little bit of blue in there. Not quite a dollop. How's that? Take him carefully. I leave the screws. I don't take, see these two little stainless screws? I leave those in there because, oops, I didn't put my rotor on. Got to put my rotor on. Rotor goes over. It's fitted, but it's not. It'll seat itself. Take that. The retaining nut, and there is a top and a bottom. It's crowned. Okay. I don't know if it affects it if you put it on backwards, but you can put it on backwards. And then we grab Robert the ratchet, turn it to the ON position. Click, click. Put Robert away. If it does that, you're doing all right. Oh. Except it just, it's all jammed up. Get out of there. It's because I turned it and the crosswind block started going. Let's put all this back in here like a so. Like a so. Now, what you want to do, before you put the shaft in, come over here to this side and put this screw in. This connects the main gear to this outer bearing with a mechanical connection. Okay, it kind of makes this thing like the rear end of a car. Very stout. You know, they sell these reels with 37 ball bearings. Oh, it's so smooth. I'm sorry about your little wussy hands. All right. Grab the right screwdriver. Beep. That's the Fat Gus screwdriver. Put our bearing cap on. Okay, now you can see what we've got left over here. We're almost done, guys. This stuff is so easy. What I do is put a little bit of blue and a little bit of Corrosion X. Put it on the bottom because it's just going to smear. I go roundy, 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 round, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, so that it gets coated. Take it down here. Now watch what I do. I wiggle it back and forth, and it fits. That saves you 10 minutes, that little trick. Don't take these all the way out. I used to, boys. Sometimes you learn as you get older, and sometimes you don't. We're getting there, guys. All right. Put this in there. This stuff is it gets a coating. It's like wax, and it doesn't run. I had this on a Mercury 175 Black Max in the Florida sun, day in and day out for 8 years, and it never ran off. All right, so now we got that in there. Got our 3 retaining screws. These go in relatively quick. I don't tighten anything down. I don't make anything absolutely tight until I get all 3 kind of snug. And looky there. Blind squirrel finding an acorn. Beep. Beep. Whoa, alrighty then. Okay, bearing. Lube so that the bearings don't stick. These 650s, every one of them has a stuck bearing somewhere. Every one of them. Put our bearing in there. Pops in, nice and flush. Now put our bearing cap on. And just to be sure, this has a felt washer in it. Those usually get lost. when it has the felt washer, the purpose of the felt washer is to prevent saltwater intrusion. Throw a little bit of love on there. Not too much, man. I get so many reels that are just dripping. All right. Grab our handle. I love this. I almost don't want to sell this handle. This reel will be sold on eBay at Reef Reacher Fishing. You can email me at reefreacherfishing@gmail.com. I'm hoping to get some stickers soon. Keep your eye out, though, because I am going to start selling some cool stuff. Love that sound. Super, super sweet reels, man. All right. I'm going to put the spool on. These drag washers, pain in the butt. Let's put this together. Octagonal washer. Goes in first. Get that to seat. Teflon, this is a T56 Teflon washer. Goes in next. Then we do a simple keyed. These are, see how it's oblong? That has to fit over the spool shaft. And if you don't put these together like this, you have to sit here, wiggle this back and forth, pick it up and down. It's just not good. Okay, now we have an octagonal, a Teflon, and then a simple keyed. Now we're going to put in our first HT100. I usually convert these to Carbon-Tex carbon fiber, but this reel is so collectible, I'm not changing anything. We put in our second octagonal. That locks it. Another HT100. Another keyed washer. And we're done. Except it won't go on. And you got your little springy spring. Aren't these fun? C-clip. But put one in first. One in first. And then circle your fingernail around. They pop into place. You know you did it right. You know how you know you did it right? Because you saw it here at Reef Reacher Fishing. Guys, I want to thank everyone for their support. I'd like to give a shout out to Dennis, Second Chance Tackle, the guy who inspired me to be great again. Find me at Reef Reacher, or Steve Miller Reef Reacher on the Book of Faces. Find me on eBay at Reef Reacher Fishing. Email me at Steve Miller Reef Reacher. Email me at reefreacherfishing@gmail.com. Guys, love and peace. Kindness is always free.